everyone. Welcome to this session. I am Dr. Sharmila. In this lecture series, I am going to teach electronics engineering subject. In this first lecture, you are going to learn about the basis of semiconductor materials. So the learning outcome of this session is, at the end of this session, the student can define what are the different types of materials and what is semiconductor material and its properties. So first you have to know what is electronics engineering. So the word electronics is derived from the word electron and mechanics. Electronics engineering is the field of science and engineering. It mainly deals with electronic devices and its utilization. So first you have to know what is electronic device. So generally the electronics is the flow movement of free electron, that is an electronics. Electronic device means any device in which conduction take place due to the movement of electrons through vacuum, gas and semiconductor material. In the first and second generation of computer, they have used vacuum and gas. From the third generation of computer, they have started to use semiconductor material. What are the different types of material? So generally, the materials are classified based on different properties such as physical properties, chemical properties, mechanical properties, electrical properties, etc. So in this electronics engineering subject, the types of material is based on the electrical property. So you have to know what is electrical property. So electrical property is nothing but ability to conduct electric current. That is the electrical property. So any material conducts the electric current, that is the electrical property. So based on the electrical property, the materials are classified into three types. One is conductor, semiconductor and insulator. So these three materials are classified based on the two properties of the material, that is conductivity and resistivity of the material. So first one is the conductor. So what is the meaning of conductor is any material which allow the electricity to flow through it, that is the conductor. So they conduct the electricity because of free electrons to flow easily. So the conductor has very high level of conductivity and low level of resistivity. So high level of conductivity means the material which allow the current, that is a conductivity. If it is of resistivity means the resistivity means resist the flow of current. Okay. So for the conductor, the conductivity is very high and the resistivity is very low. So next material is insulator. The insulator is just opposite to the conductor. So insulators are the material which does not allow the current to flow through it. That is the insulator. For the insulator, it has a low level of conductivity and high level of resistivity. What is the meaning of resistivity? Resist means it is going to resist something. What it is going to resist? Here it is going to resist the flow of current or flow of electricity. Okay, so the insulator has very high level of resistivity. So because of this high level of resistivity, it does not allow the current to flow through the material. So the examples for insulators are wood, paper, plastic, glass, rubber, etc. So insulator is just opposite to the conductor. So the third types of material is semiconductor. The semiconductor is neither conductor nor insulator. Its conductivity level is in between conductor and insulator. So semiconductor is a material which has the conductivity level in between conductor and insulator. So some of the examples of semiconductors are silicon, germanium, aluminum, etc. So semiconductor is very important one for in the electronics engineering subject because all the electronic devices are made up of semiconductor materials only. So now you have to know what is the resistivity and conductivity. As I said earlier, The resistivity means what? It resists the flow of current. Any material resists the current to flow through it. That is the resistivity. For the three different types of material, you have to know what is the conductive resistivity values. For the conductor, as I said earlier, it has the very high conductivity. So the resistivity value is very low or negligible. Its value is less than 10 to the power minus 5 micro ohm centimeter. For the insulator, it has a very high resistivity because it does not allow the current to flow through it. Its value is greater than 10 to the power 5 micro ohm centimeter. Third material is a semiconductor. The semiconductor's resistivity value is in between the conductor and insulator, that is 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power 5 micro ohm centimeter. So next one is a conductivity. So conductivity means it is a property of the material which allow the current to flow through it. For the three different types of material, you have to know the conductivity value. For the conductor, it has a very high level of conductivity. Its value is 10 to the power minus 7 mho per meter. For the insulator, it does not allow the current to flow through it, so its value is negligible. For semiconductor, its value is in between 10 to the power minus 7 mho per meter to 10 to the power minus 13 mho per meter. So the next one is the atomic structure. As I already told you that in most of the electronic devices are constructed using a semiconductor material. So you know the examples of semiconductor material, that is silicon, germanium, gallium arsenide are the some of the examples of semiconductor material. So you have to know why most of the electronics industry are choosing the semiconductor material. Okay, so for that you have to understand the atomic structure. Okay, so generally the materials are made up of an atoms only. You take any materials, these materials are made up of the more number of an atoms. Okay, so here you consider an atom. Here I am taking the silicon material, that is silicon atom. So the atom, it has a neutron and electron, proton. Okay, it has a three particles, that is neutron, proton and electron. In this atoms, the center part is called as the nucleus. The nucleus has the neutron and proton. So the proton is the positive charge particles and the electron is the negative charge particles. The neutron is the no charge particles. Okay, so nucleus has a neutron and proton. The electrons are revolves around the nucleus. That revolving path is called as the orbit. Okay, so next you have to know what is the meaning of valence electron or valence shell. So the outermost shell of an atom is called as the valence electron. That is, the electrons in the outermost shell is called as the valence electron or valence shell. Okay, so next you have to know what is the valence electron value of three different material. Okay, so for the conductor, it has only one valence electron in the outermost shell. For the insulator, it has the 8 valence electron in the outermost shell. For the semiconductor material, it has 4 valence electron in the outermost shell. So generally the conductors are formed by the metallic bonding, insulators are formed by the ionic bonding, the semiconductors are formed by the covalent bonding. So you have to know the how many valence electrons are in the outermost shell. For the semiconductor material, it has the 4 valence electron in the outermost shell. In the next slide, you are going to know what is the meaning of covalent bonding. Okay, so this is the crystal structure of the silicon atom. So what is the meaning of crystal structure is when the silicon atoms are combined to form a solid, that is the crystal structure. So crystal structure means here, for example, you consider any material, the material, it has a more number of atoms. So what is the meaning of crystal structure is when the atoms combines to form a solid, that is the crystal structure. Okay, so you have to know, you already know that for the semiconductor material, each semiconductor material has the 4 valence electron in the outermost shell. So all the atoms tries to get 8 electrons in the outermost shell. Already the silicon atom has the 4 valence electron, then it will tries to get another 4 electrons from the neighboring atoms, because each material has the more number of atoms. So each atoms tries to get the 8 electron in the outermost shell. Already it has a 4 valence electron, so it tries to get another 4 electrons from the neighboring atoms. Okay, so when for example here you consider these two atoms. So these two atoms are going to share one valence electron with the neighboring atom. The sharing of the electrons is called as the covalent bonding. What is the meaning of covalent bonding is the sharing of electrons between the atom is called as the covalent bonding. Okay, once the atom got the 8 electron, it goes to the inner states. Okay, when you apply some external energy, for example, if you apply a temperature, the electron gets an enough energy and break the covalent bond. Okay, it will break the covalent bond, it releases the electrons. Okay, the electrons comes out of the valence band, that is called as the free electrons. The electrons that comes out of the covalent bond is called as the free electron. From this valence band it will goes to the conduction band. Okay, so the main important thing is what is the meaning of valence band and conduction band and covalent band. Okay, so the covalent bonding is nothing but the sharing of electron between the atom is called as the covalent bonding. So next one is what is the meaning of valence band or valence shell. Or valence shell is the outermost shell of an atom is called as the valence shell or valence band. So each and every atom tries to share the electrons with the neighboring atom. So it forms a covalent bonding. Covalent bonding is the sharing of electron between the two atoms. When the electrons get the energy, so the energy is nothing but, for example, the temperature. Once the electrons get an energy, it will tries to break the covalent bond and moves out of the valence band. Okay, so the electron moves out of the valence band is called as the free electron. So from this valence band, the electron goes to the conduction band. So next one is the energy level. So first you have to know forbidden gap. So the forbidden gap is the gap between the valence band and conduction band. Okay, so here we are going to see the energy level, that is a forbidden gap for the 3 different material, like that is for insulator, semiconductor and conductor. Okay, for the insulator, the gap between the valence band and conduction band is very high. I already told you what is the meaning of valence band is, that is the electron the present in the outermost shell is called as the valence shell. From the valence shell, the electron tries to move out. Okay, that electron is called as the free electrons. From the valence band, the electron goes to the conduction band. Okay, so for the insulator material, the forbidden energy gap is greater than 5 electron volt. For the semiconductor material, the gap between the valence band and conduction band is less than the insulator, that is it has a small forbidden gap. For the conductor, there is no gap between the valence band and conduction band. The valence band and conduction bands are overlap each other. That's why in a conductor it allows a current to flow through it. Okay, so in a semiconductor material, the flow of current depends on your flow of free electrons only. So for the insulator, the energy gap is very high, that is greater than 5 electron volt. So it does not allow the current electron to flow from the valence band to conduction band. Okay, in a semiconductor, the gap between the valence band and conduction band is very small as compared to insulator. For conductor, there is no gap between the valence band and conduction band. The two bands are overlap each other. For the insulator, so the force between the valence band and nucleus is very high. That's why the energy gap is very high. Okay, so important thing is for the semiconductor, for 3 different material, that is germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide. What is the gap, forbidden energy gap is for germanium it is of 0.67 electron volt. For silicon its value is 1.1 electron volt. For gallium arsenide its value is 1.43 electron volt. So already you know that what is the meaning of semiconductor. Okay, so the semiconductor is the conductivity is in between good conductor and insulator. Okay, so three important semiconductor material widely used in the electronic industries are germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide. Okay, so the semiconductor materials are falls into the two category. One is a single crystal, second one is compound. What is single crystal means? The semiconductor material made up of one element. For example, it is a made up of germanium or silicon. Okay, so that is the single crystal. What is the meaning of compound is? The material is made up of more than two elements. Okay, that is more than one element. Okay, examples are gallium arsenide, cadmium sulfide, gallium nitride, etc. So another one important thing is, so the three semiconductor material widely used in the electronics industry are germanium, silicon and gallium arsenide. Next, the history of the semiconductor material. In the early years, the diode and transistor were introduced using a germanium material. So diode was introduced in the year of 1939. The transistor was introduced in the year of 1949. Okay. So the main thing is for the germanium, it is high temperature sensitive. It has a very high temperature sensitive. In 1954, the silicon transistor was introduced. Compared to the germanium, the silicon has a very less temperature sensitivity and it available in the large quantity also. Okay, so you know that the computers the computer perform very high speed and high level of operation. So for that we need any transistor of the work very fast. Okay, so in the year 1970, the high-speed transistor was invented using a gallium arsenide, which is 5 times faster compared to the silicon material. Okay, so the three materials generally used in the electronic industries are silicon, germanium and gallium arsenide. So negative temperature coefficient. So this is one of the very important properties of the semiconductor material. So that is the negative temperature coefficient. So what is the meaning of negative temperature coefficient is? So here the temperature value is, what is the negative temperature coefficient is? Here the temperature value is inversely proportional to the resistance. Okay, so that is a negative temperature coefficient. It is one of the important properties of the semiconductor materials. Okay, so here generally you know that electronic devices are made up of semiconductor. In semiconductor, the flow of current depends on your free electrons only. Okay, so when you increase the temperature, that is as the temperature rises from the 0 degree Kelvin, what will happen? It increases the number of valence electrons. It increases the valence electrons to absorb the sufficient thermal energy. So already I explained with the help of the crystal structure. Okay, the crystal structure is nothing but the group of silicon atoms are called as the crystal structure. Okay, when the temperature is increases above the 0 degree Kelvin, what will happen? The valence electrons in the silicon atom gets enough energy to break the covalent bond. From this covalent bond, the electron in the valence shell move out of the covalent bond. Okay, that is a valence shell. Okay, that electron is called as the free electron. So as the temperature increases, the electrons in the valence shell get enough energy, that is enough thermal energy to break the covalent bond, and it contributes to the number of free carriers. Number of free carriers is nothing but the electrons. Okay, as the number of free electrons increases, the conductivity will increase, because the conductivity depends on your free electrons only. When you apply the temperature, the electrons in the valence shell, the electrons in the valence shell get enough energy to break the covalent bond. From the valence shell, the electron goes to the conduction band. Okay, that electron is called as the free electron. When the free electron increases, the conductivity is increased. If the conductivity is increased, what will happen? The resistance value get decreased. Okay, the resistivity of the material get decreased. Okay, so the negative temperature coefficient is the temperature is inversely proportional to the resistance, directly proportional to the temperature is directly proportional to the conductivity. As the temperature increases, the number of free electron increase, which leads to the increase the conductivity of the material. If the conductivity increases, automatically what will happen? The resistivity is very low. Okay. So semiconductor materials such as germanium and silicons shows a reduction in the temperature when the reduction in the resistance when the temperature increases. Okay, so that is called as the negative temperature coefficient. It is one of the important property of the semiconductor material why we are using in the electronics industry. For the three different material, you have to know the properties. Okay, for the insulator and semiconductor, which has the negative temperature coefficient. Negative temperature coefficient means what? When temperature increases, the resistivity value get decreased and conductivity will increases. Okay, for these two material. So the conductor material which has the positive temperature coefficients. Okay. So these are the important things in this semiconductor material. Thank you.